Regardless of whether you listen to hip-hop or not, I'm sure the vast majority of you have heard of Lil Wayne. His music is undoubtedly a part of pop culture. However, in the past, before his popularity was as high as it was today, he made a song called I Feel Like Dying. Now, the actual subject matter is about what sounds like Lil Wayne's drug addiction. However, there have been rumors starting around 2007 to 2008 that the song contained a hidden message if played in reverse. As one of the many that listened to it, I have to say, I was pretty creeped out after hearing it. Some people have taken the liberty of making lyrics to the reverse song, and as expected, the lyrics vary from video to video. However, the content is always the same. Violence, murder, and something demonic. As a curious person, I decided to do some research on the subject, and I haven't found much. But when Wikipedia had an article on the song, briefly, it said that Lil Wayne never commented on whether the rumors were true or not. Upon going into underground sources, I have some connections with people in the music industry, I uncovered that once during an interview, Lil Wayne was asked about the rumors regarding the song and reportedly ignored the question. When the interviewer persisted, Lil Wayne got up and left, ending the interview prematurely. Another account said that when a fan ran into him on the street and asked about the rumor, he started yelling at him and cursing at him. When the fan kept asking, Lil Wayne assaulted him and told him to never mention the song again. There were several more accounts of things like this happening. However, one of the stories involved a woman actually being murdered by fellow rappers and label mates Drake and Gouda Gouda for asking about it. Using the same music industry connections I have, I managed to get a hold of some Backstage tickets to a concert he was having. However, it wasn't for another 5 minutes, so I had to put my quest for answers on a pause till then. When the day of the concert arrived, I sat next to some die-hard fans who kept screaming. Like most people, I'm always wondering how he became so popular, despite his rap skills not being the best. But I wasn't one to question how a man makes his living, so I just kicked back and enjoyed the concert. Now, the concert itself was unbelievably hyped up. There was so much energy, it was like a musician's idea of heaven. After the concert ended some hours later, I went backstage and met Lil Wayne. Despite his lyrics, he is actually a pretty sweet and homely guy. When I was introduced to him by his bodyguards, he was sitting down reading his Bible. He got up and greeted me and introduced me to the rest of the Young Money group. Drake shook my hand, then walked out of sight. Nicki Minaj gave me a hug, and I won't lie, I wish that hug lasted forever. After shaking the rest of the group's hands, I chatted briefly with Tyga and sat down to talk with Lil Wayne. We discussed religion and our faith. For those who don't know, Lil Wayne is a practicing Christian. The background stories behind his songs, like the song Lollipop, was actually a dare by one of the song's producers to make a song about blowjobs and release it as a single, and our lives. I was impressed by how intelligent this man really was. I mean, he had a rough life growing up in the Holly Grove area of New Orleans and said he was blessed to have a career as successful as his. I decided after about half an hour of chatting to bring up I Feel Like Dying. As I brought it up, his face went from happy and cheerful to just drained of color, like if something terrified him. As we talked about the song, he had told me he was in a hard time in his life when he wrote it, and that without drugs he felt like he would die. And then he tried to change the subject. When I asked about the rumors of a hidden message in the song, he became visibly furious and denied there was any hidden message. When I told him I had sources saying otherwise, he was now on the point of tears and told me to get the fuck out. As security was escorting me out, I managed to catch a glimpse of him clutching his Bible and chanting Bible verses over and over again. The man was now obviously afraid, and now it got me more curious. Why would this man just freak out and have me booted like that? I knew there was a reason, and I had to find it out now. After some time had passed, I managed to get a hold of Cool and Dre. For those of you who don't know, they're some hip-hop producers who worked with Lil Wayne on many of his songs. I chatted with them, and as I mentioned the supposed hidden message, Dre stomped out of the room, and Cool just stood there with this frozen expression on his face. When I asked once again, he whispered to me, "I can't explain here. They'll hear us. Follow me." When I asked who they were, he told me to follow him to his car. When we got there, he told me to never mention what he was going to tell me to anybody, and then he started driving. After about 15 minutes of driving and Cool being silent, we arrived at a large chapel. The chapel was already having sessions, as I could see a swarm of people gathering inside. I followed Cool inside, and he said, "Alright, they can't hear us here." When I asked who, he replied with, "The real producers of that song." Apparently, shortly after Lil Wayne's popularity exploded, he made a pact with a demon named Murmur, that in exchange for his soul, finding a few more people to make the same pact and allowing him to possess Lil Wayne for a short period of time, he would make him one of the most popular rappers alive and make sure that his career prospered. Lil Wayne agreed, and he started looking for new talent to recruit. He said that Murmur was the true writer of the song, and several of his minions were actually the producers. When Lil Wayne recorded the song, it wasn't really him, it was Murmur possessing him for the sole purpose of making the song reality. Lil Wayne has no memory of recording the song, and after a few years, found new recruits. Those new recruits, we know them as Young Money.